is the collection capture of the EMFs that are bleeding out of the hydro grid, putting them back in the grid, creating jobs, recycling the energy, and making the system more efficient, and saving the taxpayers money, isn't it? Exactly. There's my opinion on the amalgamation so far.
Thank you. And I can't let Mr. Al Gore pass the mic without asking him the obvious question. What's your view of climate change?
Well, I guess I changed the climate in this room, haven't I? Yeah, think about it this way. Yeah, think about it this way. Yeah, I am here, I'm larger than life, so. Well, yes, I've already had two as well. Let's change the climate in here too as well. Yes, I've already had an astronaut contact me from NASA. Exactly. Just go on to Facebook. Exactly. Yeah, Bette Midler hit on my, she hit on my Twitter too as well there. Yes, so there is interest in doing this, isn't there? Yes, Toronto can be, how would you say, the great city of Toronto, isn't it? Why do I call it the great city of Toronto? Because it makes up people like you in this room, doesn't it? Yeah, you are educated. You want your education to mean something, don't you? You want to have jobs after you're completed here. You want to be able to pay your loans. Yeah, I paid my $30,000 student loan. Yes, I have. Yeah, and you guys know how this works, don't you? But you want a future, don't you? Yes, the change has come, the future is now, the time is now. And I'm Al Gore. Thank you.
I might have been thinking about the temperature, but thank you for your answer, Mr. Gore. And now we have Mr. Richard Underhill. And you manage a jazz ensemble and you've done it for many years. How has that informed your ideas on city building?
Very good question. Thank you, Hemi, and thank you, yes, once again to the students and the Student Council for having us here this evening. My name is Richard Underhill. I'm a sax player with a band you may know, you may not know, called the Shuffle Demons. We had a hit back in 1986. A moderate hit called Spadina Bus. So I've been talking about transit since 1984. And I must say, in that song, I'm having a flip-flop, a 30-year flip-flop, because I have a little rap, kind of goes, when you start to cuss on the Wellesley bus, and you can't go far on the College Street tar, you know the Young Street train, it's a real pain, and the LRT, well that's not for me. But I have to admit I've changed my mind since then. Because I like the LRT, my friend. I like the idea of the LRT. I've been on the SRT many times coming out here. And what I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that the new LRT is not going to be anything like that. It's not going to be anything like that because it's going to be shiny and new and faster and slick and better than the subway because it feeds way more people on its line. So anyway, think about that. I got into this whole political game because of Rob Ford. Thank you, Rob Ford. Thank you, Rob Ford. Thank you, Rob Ford. You have motivated a generation. You have made people take stock and go, look at the fair city of Toronto. Take a look and what do you see? Do you see a man in a clown suit running around? Or do you see a great place for music?
Richard, I'm going to cut you off there.
Yes, that's fine.
Part of the intention of this evening was that it would be less of a debate, more of a conversation, to raise our expectations in the next 90 minutes for the next 9 months. So some of the questions that you might be expecting, that's for the other 90 meetings, the rest of the election. Just to return to learning a little bit more about Mr. Underhill himself, which you may not know, you actually made an attempt at a Guinness World Record. Can you share with us about that?
Yes, thank you, Hemi. Thank you for talking me down off the ledge there. Sorry about that, folks. I got very passionate. I don't know how I'm supposed to follow Al Gore. I mean, this is the thing. I don't know how, so I'm relaxing here. Thank you. We had a wonderful day. The Shuffle Demons came back for our 20th anniversary, and we thought, what a great way to celebrate young Dundas Square, but to have a world record attempt with the most people playing saxophones. So we managed to get 900 people to play the Hockey Night in Canada theme at Dundas Square on the saxophone. And what was really wonderful was it was fathers and daughters and mothers and sons and good friends getting together, pulling their instrument out of the closet and coming together as a community to do a wonderful, fun, really fun thing. So what started out as a kind of a publicity stunt turned into a really wonderful community event. So it was a really great thing to do, and that's the nice thing about Toronto. We have a wonderful community, and it's a community of communities, and we all get along. And I want to bring that kind of, other than my recent outburst, I want to bring that kind of feeling to this City Hall, that we can all get along and work together and have fun.
Thank you, Richard. We're going to now move to your questions that have been submitted on pieces of paper to Goulet. I'm going to return near the end of the evening to just wrap up with closing statements from each of the candidates, and I'll be a little bit of a hard ass cutting you off at 2 minutes when that comes, so you have a 2-minute warning way ahead of the game. First of all, please give them a round of applause, and
Anyway, awesome. So at this part of the evening is where we get a chance to hear questions from you folks. So if you haven't, we have little pieces of paper. Just fill them out, and when you have them fill it out, just raise them high in the air, and then one of our staff people will help. Will come around and collect them. So at this point, I'm going to ask questions 3 at a time, and then give the candidates time to answer all 3 questions at once. Try to keep your comments under 2 minutes if you can for 3 questions. Alright, so we're going to begin. This is a really awesome question, I guess. What advice would you give to a student who aspires to run for mayor in the future? So that's question number 1. What advice would you give to a student who wants to be mayor in the future? Question number 2. Will you yourself plan to be attending World Pride this year? Would the candidates are the candidates planning to attend World Pride this year? And the third question, this is actually a specific question, I guess, a UTSC student wanted to answer about a context here on this campus. Students at UTSC voted to pay $30 million for the Pan Am building that is being constructed just across the street. A part of that referendum, the city promised to build a rapid transit LRT line to this campus. Unfortunately, the line got cancelled, but students are still paying for the building. So what do you folks plan to do in order to help bring rapid transit or any sort of rapid transit to UTSC? So 3 questions. 3 questions. What advice would you give to a student wanting to be mayor? Would you be attending World Pride? And what's your plans for UTSC students in terms of rapid transit?
Okay, so when I started politics, I had no intention to run for mayor at a young age. I ran for council when I was 27 and was not successful and ran again. But what I did do is get involved in many different campaigns. There's no secret I am a conservative. I helped out people both provincially and federally at that level. Stuffing envelopes, answering phones, campaigning, knocking on doors. If I were you and you really wanted to be an elected official, start as a school trustee. Get your feet wet, run as a public school trustee or a Catholic school trustee, and then, or you can jump right into being a counselor. The reason I ran for counselor right off the bat was my dad was an MPP. I knew how politics worked, and I came from a business background, so I thought I was more of an asset at City Hall than I would be down at the Toronto Business School Board. But please get involved. No matter who you're voting for, run, get involved in a campaign, someone's campaign. You'll learn a lot, you'll make a lot of contacts, and it's great for your resume when you're applying for a job. Second question?